Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. So I have Kris here with me, and today's topic is, why so many Grant Cardone's students actually sign up with me over here at FlipAnythingUSA. I've been surprised how many people have. I don't even find out until some of them until they've actually joined. Do they tell me? Some tell me in advance. I had a guy tell me today that he actually invested over $100,000 with Grant Cardone and didn't get more than a 4.75 return. And he says he probably won't see his money for 10 years.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, he's not very happy. But, he signed up for it, and he accepts that. But he regrets it. And he realizes, and that's one of the reasons he joined my class, is he bought the book, and he already started making money doing the same things that are in the book. And one of the things he identified is that he figures he made maybe $1 million on the other $200,000 that he invested for himself, while the other almost $200,000 that he's got invested with Grant Cardone is making him less than $8,000 a year. You know what I mean?
Which could have been another $1 million.
And so, he ain't going to see that money though for 10 years. It looks like. So it's just a shame, and it's not that uncommon. And, I got some really cool stuff here. Actually, we're going to debut Kris's editorial work today. Another student that just made over $100,000, real estate agent. I have a lot of real estate agents in my class, by the way. I have real estate agents in my class that have been in real estate for 30 years. So I like the company that we keep. We have really good people, investors, people that have been investing for 10, 20 years. They join the class as well. I've got NFL players now. I've got, who else? We got all kinds. It's just a fantastic group of people. And really, and young guys that have made $1 million in 18 months. It's really a cool thing. So look, we have got the chat going here. If anybody has a question, they can jump into the chat. But again, if you go to the links below and you'll see the webinar. Did you put in the links already? Mm-hmm. Okay, not in the chat, but in the description.
Yeah, in the description.
Okay, yeah. Sign up for the free webinar. Go to FlipAnythingUSA.com. Sign up for the free webinar. You got nothing to lose. Nobody's going to trap you. I'm not going to sick my salesman on you. In fact, I don't even have any salesmen. Okay, so you don't have to worry, because that's people are afraid of the trap. You get into Krohn or Grant Cardone's, they get a hold of your email or even worse, your phone number.
Easy to do, hard to undo.
Yeah,
right,
easy
Tom?
to do, hard to undo. Yeah, yeah. So, but anyways, hey, I am so happy and excited just to be here today. A lot of good things happening, and just even this week myself, or, about 2 weeks ago, I guess my daughter, she bought her first home, and of course she got it from Dad, and she got it for about half, but she got it for what I paid for it, which is about half what it's worth. Yeah. And so how wonderful, my daughter, she saved her first $100,000 from her job. She's been out of college for about 2 years, and a real frugal saver, really important to be a good saver, and people wonder what it takes to get in the class, because people know that I don't let just anybody in the mentorship. Listen, it ain't about how much money you have. Listen, if you're 30 years old, 40 years old, and you have trouble coming up with a couple grand to get in the mentorship, you got bigger problems than I can help you with immediately, okay? Because you need to save money. You got to be able to save money. I mean, that's a discipline. So I got people who make $15 an hour, and they'll save $20,000 over a period of a couple of years. That's impressive. That shows me that you have discipline, and that's really part of what it takes. But don't sell yourself short. You can really sell yourself short, because a lot of people do. A lot of people just don't have confidence because they don't realize. I've had guys that I've talked to that don't realize how good they are. They ask the right questions. But in all honesty, they're so afraid that they cut this, analysis or paralysis by analysis. You know what I mean? It's like, man, you got what it takes. I even have a money-back guarantee. Okay,
and Tom, I think for speaking as a rookie here, somebody that is passionate about real estate, and I'm passionate about a good deal, first of all, but real estate in general, I think in the past couple of years, it's been more or less trending of like, oh, real estate, like that's a hot commodity. And the funnel is so big that if you really don't know where to start, you can easily fall into some of these Grant Cardone traps. And I have friends that they've told me, they're like, hey, we lost $12,000 last year to this class. We were supposed to make all that money back almost immediately, and we lost it all, you know. And
absolutely. So look, we're going to get into that. We're going to share some other stuff too. So hang out, and we'll be right back.
It's the best thing I ever did.
All right, so where do we start here? First of all, I got to ask you to subscribe because I always forget. Please hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel. But also, if you're a first time here, you don't want to miss me. You want to get a hold of this and get. It sounds terribly conceited, but it's true. I know what I bring to the table. One of the reasons people find my class so much more valuable than a Kris Krohn or a Grant Cardone class is because what I give you is relevant information for making money. What's relevant to you? Okay, and I'll tell you why I'm so relevant to you. I invest in real estate. I started buying properties. First property I bought, $110,000. That was 41 years ago. I was 19 years old, and that was a lot of money. I didn't have it, but I explained how I did that. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'll explain it. It's in the book, and I talk about other things. Also, I got a book. Don't miss my book. My book right here, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's been a bestseller on Amazon, Audible, Kindle. Kris here bought the book, and that's how he found me. And Kris here's already quit his job, and he's a full-time investor now. He comes and works for me, you know, couple days a week, and more as a favor than anything for me. But it's a fantastic group that we have. We have a bunch of people, at least 40 people come in the Zoom. We have hundreds of people in the class. But on Saturdays, and I'm going to start doing it during the week, I'm going to start doing an hour or so of the live Zoom, and we're going to start open maybe in YouTube, and then we'll tune out when we kind of get into the stuff that everybody's paying for. But listen, if you're new, if you're 40, 30, 50, 60, I don't care. If you have saved and you realize that saving your money ain't going to get you where you want to be, then listen, invest in yourself. Get the education, because, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you some stuff right now. Let's jump over. Actually, this is a cool little video, and I'm actually kind of half watching it for the first time right now. It's one that Kris put together, and he did a great job. And we'll take a look at the final product. And this is what he actually just did today. And this is on Herb. Herb's an agent. He's a real estate agent in New York. A lot of people say, oh, you can't make any money in New York. It's too expensive. That's bullshit. It's because you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So let's go ahead and I'll key this up. And let me pull this here. Okay, so let's give a watch to this. And you guys... see what you think.
That property I got for $260,000, and after doing all the numbers, that property could have sold for $450,000.
And what a celebration when you sold it and you got to say, "We did it! We made $100,000."
Yeah. It was a very, very good feeling.
It's the best thing I ever did.
Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. So today I have a great guest, Herb Cortez, joined the mentorship 2 years ago. What do you think, Herb?
It's about a year and a half. Oh, almost 2 years, I'm gonna say, yes.
Yeah, Herb is a real estate agent in New York. You've been an agent, you've been watching other people make money, correct, on some deals? What was your
specialty? I've seen many deals where the investor makes a lot of money, and I'm on the side wondering why I'm not making that money. Well, I found that property through your teachings, you know, especially from your book. That property I got for $260,000, and after doing all the numbers, that property could have sold for $450,000. I wanted to do the rehab on the property since that was one of my goals. I wanted to learn the process from A to Z. I'm on my property today. I'm gonna turn on the camera so you guys can see.
Oh.
And that property just gave me everything. I learned everything. Well, I'm not going to say everything, but I learned a lot from that one property.
Yeah, and so this is really a great story because Herb is you're not a particularly skilled carpenter, right? That's not your history.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
And then that is my history. And so when he brought the property and he said it's going to need some work, you know, the things I'd tell him would just be simply, you have to check references, you know, all these things that when you don't know the trades, you are definitely more reliant on checking the background, the history of the person that you hire. And you did all that stuff, right?
I did, yes, because you taught me that. That's how I realized that I needed to have a good team behind me.
I've got videos now for the last 2 years of mentoring people, and so there's all kinds of clips of Herb talking about looking for a deal, finding the deal, managing the rehab, and then ultimately bringing it to market and selling it. And you made what, over 100 grand roughly?
Yes, over $100,000, yes.
Yeah, he made over $100,000. And start to finish, what that take?
It took 5 months from purchase to being sold. Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't take you away from your other job. You still had your job. You still did what you did normally to make money at the same time,
yeah.
Correct?
No, yes, yeah. I, even though I wanted to be at the property 24/7 because I wanted to see and understand what the contractors were doing, it just didn't take me much time. They were doing their thing, and I was just pretty much supervising.
So you can honestly say you made 100 grand in your spare time, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and he worked for it. Don't get me wrong, but it was so impressive, and really you're a great inspiration to the whole class, because he said, no, he goes, I want to do this. I want to take it through start to finish. And I said, man, you can already sell this place and make plenty of money without doing anything. He said, no, this is a learning experience, and I want to go through it all. And he did. And really, I just super impressed with you. Becoming an investor, a rehabber. You can do it. You got to do it right. A lot of people go out and do it wrong. As far as the mentorship, anytime you've... So that's a great job, I think. What do you guys think? So Kris just edited this up. I actually did a quite long interview with Herb. A real nice gentleman. He's got 3 kids and his wife, and we didn't even put everything in here that's in the interview, but he had... he had his wife and kids involved, and helping him clean up the house after he, hired subs that he wasn't really familiar with. But I kind of walked him through all that stuff. A lot of times, a lot of people don't have confidence because they think every investment you make requires a bunch of fixing up stuff, and that you got to have these skills. Look, I'm a builder. I know how to do all that stuff. But you think I want to do that stuff? The more than 3/4 of my deals, I don't fix up, okay? Yeah. Or I don't have to fix up a lot of them. And I much rather, listen, there's nothing better to me than buying a house or a building, or I don't care what it is. I just signing a second 3-year lease with somebody that I bought their building, and they stayed in the building. So they've been leasing from me since I bought their building. Paid $1.6 million for it, and they're still in there and said, hey, we want to renew. So now they're going to renew for another 3 years. So people, you second guess, I call it fortune telling too. You're telling the future of what you think it's going to be like, and you don't know, and it's silly because you can't be a fortune teller because you'll fortune tell yourself right out of a fortune, and so you got to be careful with that sort of thing. You don't know. You just admit to yourself you don't know. You don't know. You can guess and you think what something's like, but it's not that way. We all thought swimming was tough, and then you learn how to swim. You think bike's tough. You get on a bike first, you're like, then all of a sudden you know how to ride, and it doesn't matter if it's 10 years go by. You jump back on and you ride again. Real estate investing, you have to know what you're doing. I've been doing it for 41 years. I started early, and I've been a super aggressive, assertive investor. And the reason I get so many Grant Cardone people that come and join me is because they realize that I do know what I'm doing, that I buy the same kinds of real estate today that I bought 40 years ago. I still buy houses. I still buy commercial buildings, land. That's what I've been doing my whole life. And guess what? I still buy properties that are within the range of most of you watching that you can buy as well. And that's why if you go to, let me just show here, because this is so important. Great job on that, by the way. Let's see here. Let's go here to so look, I want you to look, this gentleman here, belongs to the fire department, and he's been around 30, 40 years investing in real estate. He joined. He made $1 million. This is $600,000, the first interview. He did another deal worth more than $400,000 after this one. So he's made $1 million. She's made 70. I'd say he's made $2 million, but actually I think he's made $3 million. He has $4 million worth of property. He says he's got $3 million worth of equity. This is Ron, fantastic student. Garrett, he's the first one to send me a check for $25,000. And then after he made his first 25, that's when he joined the class, and he's gone on to make more money. Eric here just sent me a copy of his check, $700,000. Kris, he's the one sitting right here. You know, we got one time, Liam, who was in here, just said a minute ago, hey, I'm going to be real careful about investing. Well, he's saying this right after making $560,000. And let me tell you, that was a hard-fought deal. Me and him worked our asses off together on his last deal. And that's the advantage you have, like Herb said. You have me in your corner. I've been through so much bullshit and so much stuff. There's things that people get worried about. Say, don't worry about that. And I'll explain why. You have access to somebody to walk you through and take you through when you get hit with something. There's no way I could put everything into a book. You wouldn't want to read it. But when you have all the foundation, you know, the fundamentals, that's what I do. I give you all the main fundamentals of how I made my money. And then when you run into little glitches or problems or things that throw you, you have access to me, and then I can just say, okay, hey, no problem. This is it. Or it's like, oh, hey, we got a problem. We got to do this.
And, and on that note, Tom, if I could jump in real quick.
Sure.
I'm new to real estate investing, but since being in the mentorship, I've done 5 deals.
Dude, you know more than Grant Cardone already.
And so,
I'm telling you right
well,
now. You know, I mean, listen, go ahead. Sorry.
So, but I've done 5 deals, and I'm proud of it. Like there was some work involved. There's some know-how, but here's what I've also learned is every deal, there's similar things about every single deal, but there's also different things about every single deal.
Absolutely.
And so every single deal that I had, I guarantee you, I had at least one question, if not 5, that came up. And I was like, I need to ask Tom about this.
Right.
I texted you or I called you. And I was like, hey, what does it mean whenever I come across this with the county? What does it mean whenever the seller or the buyer is offering to do this? And so it's extremely valuable, let alone the other dozens of students in the class that you can go and watch all of their deals as well.
Yep. Nope. I agree. And
because the Grant Cardone stuff and maybe the Chris Krohn or really anybody out there that says, hey, the best way to get rich is by buying a huge, massive apartment complex that you can't afford. So give us some of your money and we'll buy it for you. Hey, that's just, I mean, that's a stock. That's a mutual fund. It's a fund. And so you're just getting a tiny, tiny slice of the pie. But all of us know as entrepreneurs, because at heart, I am an entrepreneur. If I'm doing most of the work, I'm going to get the biggest piece of the pie. And as a real estate investor, I want to invest the most time and money on my own so that I get the biggest return.
Right. Well, one of the worst things that happens is when people, what happened to this thing? And actually, I wanted to go to your point here because this is really cool. So this is, well, here, by the way, take a look at this. This is, if you can see above my head here, this is a check. Oh, okay. What I was going to say is that if you look at that video of Rich Ferradino, you'll see that while he's talking about having access to me, and while we're talking, I'm scrolling, the miles of text that we had going back and forth. Listen, when you get a deal on the line, I want you to close it just as if it were my own, because nothing makes me look better than your success. And so, of course, we got a lawnmower or something. I got guys working outside, by the way. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff going on here. But I guess I won't jump to that at the moment. But anyways, but all these guys, if you go to FlipAnythingUSA.com, take the webinar, get in the webinar survey, the mentorship survey, or the webinar. You can take the free webinar. You'll get like a little video webinar sent to you. But you'll be in line, and we will contact you, and you'll be able to join us Thursday at 7 o'clock, this Thursday.
Central Standard Time.
And I invite all the members that are in there, if you want to jump in, if somebody that wants to get in the class wants to ask a student a question direct, I've never seen anybody else do that, but we can certainly do that. Yeah. We have the best, smartest, brightest students. You'll be lucky if you get in, because you'll be involved and engaged with other people that have the same goals as you. They're just all over the country. They're in different countries, some of them, but they're all over the USA. And there's plenty of room for everybody to make money. Listen, when I see a Grant Cardone video, he does the same math every time. I got $10 million property and I put 25% down and that's $2.5 million. Or I'll do the same thing whether it's $100 million and that's $250 million. That $250 million down, that's from you. That's from you guys. He can't buy it without you. That's what, he thought that's the greatest asset in the world.
He says he's doing the deal, but it's really 300 people doing the deal.
Yeah, and there's some rumors he's done 2 deals, 1 deal before the deal, and that's what's going to get him in some trouble, it looks like. But there's you can read up on that from other people that have done some information. So let's take a look at the questions here, and I know, Kris, you may have to split, but hey, thanks for coming in, buddy. And
I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Yep. So, look, anybody got any questions, you can go in the chat here, and I'll answer any questions I've got. But listen, if you're not already in the class, please get in the webinar survey. It's just, listen, I'm getting old. I'm going to quit this shit eventually. You want to take advantage of what I've got in here, okay? Now, I've already got hundreds of mentorship classes. I mean, hundreds of hours, like 300 plus hours. You'll have access to that. Plus, you get the 28 hours that I do, which is basically a 1-month crash course. And people tell me that just the first 2 hours of that is worth the price of the whole thing. So don't miss out on it. I am telling you, I don't know anybody that's done it as long as I have or as well as I have. So let's look here. Hey, Barry, glad you're in here. I'm going to go back and start reading these questions. And Barry, I hope you didn't buy the jet. I didn't get to answer your question last week. So if you're looking for keys, Kris, I saw some keys around here somewhere. Okay. All right. So I will come back to the top here real quick. Of course, this is too far. This is too close. Jorge says, good afternoon, Tom. Sorry, last message. Pat wrote, hey, Tom, excited for 2023. Lots of good deals on the way. We're definitely going to see some opportunities coming. There's no question. Look, people are going to lose their ass. This is what happens. But, we get a benefit and pick up the pieces. The last big crash in 09 was a shame because us little guys, we didn't get to pick up the pieces. A lot of the big institutions got to take advantage of it that we didn't. So hopefully that's not going to be a repeat of that, to be quite honest. So Charles, he's new in the class too. Hey, Tom, in a declining market with apprehensive buyers, how do you know what to offer sellers if you don't know how low prices will go? You're 2 weeks into the course, Charles. Give it a little time, buddy. You're learning still. You still haven't got through all the class, but it's a fair question, and it's one you always have to be more careful in a declining market. I just sold a house for $369 that I paid $300 for, and I bought it in just the last several months. So here I'm buying in the middle of a declining market, and I talked about that when I bought it. But I've got my hedges that the property's worth closer to $400,000. Now, it did continue to decline, but that's kind of the point I wanted to make, is that even in a declining market, I can buy a property and resell it at a profit. It's that margin. You got to have a nice big margin to play with. In a regular market where things are going, let's just say they're kind of going neutral or just barely going up 8% a year, or in a fast, accelerating market, when Grant Cardone was telling everybody, sell your home. If you'd have taken his advice, you would have probably left, if you owned a $200,000 home, you probably left $100,000 on the table if you'd listened to him. So I hope you didn't. But I feel sorry for people that did. I did a nice video on that, exactly how if I'd listened to him at that time, as opposed to when I did sell 2 years later, I'd have lost a couple $1 million. It's terrible. Hey, Richard, glad to see you in here, buddy. So, El Capitan, just curious, why would anyone sell properties to us at a discount when there are so many resources available where they can check fair prices in real time? You don't know. You're one of the people that doesn't know, and that's why somebody like you should join the class. You go, El Capitan, go to FlipAnythingUSA.com and just watch the videos. I got several millionaires in the class that have made their million while in the class. People that made hundreds of thousands, $500,000, people that have more cash in their hands than they've been able to save in the last 10, 20 years of working. So I understand. Just curious why. Listen, it's in a book. It's in my videos. It's in the class. It's not a one-sentence answer. So it's, I'm not going to type it out for you, nor can I even do it right here. But this is what you learn. I've been doing it for 41 years. I've bought maybe 200 properties. I can't even tell you exactly how many because I've lost track. But if I bought 200 properties, that averages about 5 per year. That's probably pretty fair. I bought as many as 30 in 1 year, but other times maybe once or twice in a year. It just depends. these are the things that you'll learn. Josh, who just came in the class, Josh is killing it. He's been buying and selling land, and he's doing exactly what I did when I was back in the early 90s, or actually late 80s. And so Josh wrote, hopefully prices come back down to really soon. Yeah, freaking stagnant market, it seems. So, well, listen, we all feel the frustration. There's not as many buyers. There's not as many. I mean, that's the good thing, too. This is why it really doesn't matter, just so you know. In good times, and everybody's working, and there's lots of money, and the market's going up, you have more competition. There's more retail buyers, right? You go to an auction, and somebody they're paying full retail. You know, the bargain hunters, they have money. They can buy, and they compete with somebody that goes to auctions and likes to buy, get it under market, resell it, and make a little margin. And that's a fine way to go for those that want to do that sort of thing. But I find properties, listen, I've bought properties, I've bought properties for $140,000, sold it for $520,000. That I did in the 80s. I bought a property for, not that long ago, I bought one for $80 that was worth about $350. Anyways, and listen, I've got Liam, who was just in the class. He got a property he was buying for $700,000. He sold it for $1,050,000. He made $350,000, and that's in New York. He actually made $360,000. That's in New York. And you know how many people call me from New York and say, "Well, I'm going to join your class when I move out of this crappy New York." It's like, you don't have to. Herb, you just saw, lives in New York. Liam, who I just said made $560,000, he lives in New York. I got another gentleman works in New Jersey that just made $100,000 as well. Oh, Liam's in Jersey. I'm sorry. I got almost stuck in my head for Jersey. Sorry for you, Liam. But you sound like a New Yorker. But I don't know if I couldn't tell you the dialect over there. Anyways, so anyhow, Liam said earlier, you know, he's being careful in this market, and you should always be careful. Listen, there's no bad property. There's just bad deals. Don't make a bad deal. And El Capitan, back to your question, you know, listen, if you have a low standard, if all you care about is buying retail, or if you want to buy 10% under market, you can find that stuff without even trying. Getting deals that are 30% under market, that takes some doing. That takes some expense. that takes some experience. And actually, Herbert, we just debuted your video, by the way, buddy. Herbert just came in. Herbert was the one you just saw, and he said I sure did make money in New York. Yep. And so it's a wonderful thing. And I'll tell you, we got like a brotherhood, or we can call it sisterhood too. We got some women in there that are awesome. It's primarily male audience. I don't know why. We need more women in here making money. I'm telling you. Tina's been fantastic. Delia as well, and also Christina, who's in San Francisco. People think it's impossible. Listen, doesn't matter where you're at. You can make a great deal anywhere. And just because you might live where they have $20, $30 million homes, you don't have to be in that. Listen, you've got your share of middle class or upper middle class. There's properties you can buy. I don't care where you live. You can find if that's out of your budget to play in that game, that's fine, and it's understandable. But listen, when I was a younger man, I tied up properties that I knew I could not afford to buy by myself. I went and found the deal, and I got it signed. I put the $500 and $1,000 deposit back then down, and I got the thing tied up, but I got it tied up because I know that now I have the rights to buy something for half of what it's worth. That's where you make your money, on the purchase. You make it on the purchase. This bullshit when people say, oh, yeah, look, I can show you how you buy property and then hold it for 20 years. Well, guess what? Nobody needs a lesson in that. That's what most people do anyways. So what else? Anyways, I just want to tell you guys, and those are the students too, we're going to do a live webinar for all these, tire kickers, guys that just can't seem to get off the fence but want to. And by the way, I'm telling you right now, once in a while I give people a discount code. Don't ever ask me for a discount code if you don't use it, because if you ask for a discount code and I give it to you and you don't use it, you will never get a discount. You will never get a discount. If you tell me you're going to sign up and I give you a discount code, just remember, don't even ask for it till you're about to hit the button, because I won't give it to you otherwise, and you'll never get it again. And I'm talking to you that I've given it to. Those that have gotten it, you're never going to get it again. Anyways, what else? what are your thoughts out there in general? So look, I'll show you guys a couple things that I'm doing right now. This is just, and this is one of the things that's good for you as a good mentor. Because I am a builder, I am a developer. I've subdivided properties, I've rezoned properties, I've been through all the stuff that entails, and it's fantastic experience. But it's wonderful when somebody can say, don't worry about that. No, that doesn't matter. Yep, this matters. Those are the kinds of things that I bring to the table that are so valuable to everybody. And the other thing is that when I talk about being a relevant mentor, I bought a property for this. I'll just run through the numbers on the stuff I bought, and maybe you can relate to being able to afford those kinds of properties yourselves. Because Grant Cardone particularly, he likes to point to a $40 million apartment building and say this is the greatest asset in the world. Now, this is a bit of a flim-flam scam, okay, to me. In all respect to Grant, look at whatever. I think, like this guy told me today, he said, you know what, Grant gave me some good advice on at work for working harder and for applying some of his techniques, the 10 times stuff, which I don't know much about. But he was saying that he said, well, that stuff worked out for me pretty well on his 10 times stuff, how it applied to work. And so he said, what the heck, I'll go ahead and give a chance on him on investing. And that's where he realizes he fucked up, and his words. And now he's got over $100,000 tied up. He can't get it back. And I got other people like this too. And he's the first one I knew that actually threw in more than $100,000 with Grant Cardone. I really feel bad for him. But he says, yeah, I'm getting less than 4.75%. And I said, when are you going to get your money back? And he says, well, I'm not going to get it back probably for 10 years till they sell the asset. That's the worst trap in the world. Have your money tied up and trapped at the mercy of somebody else. It's the worst thing in the world. Anyways, what I was going to go to here, again, if you just got here, please hit that subscribe button. And any real estate questions, man, fire away. We can talk about anything. I'm very excited just about what's going on in general right now. Let me see if I can find this. So I'll share this with the class. I think this thing is working. Okay. So check this out. I actually went out to the quarry today. And I did a nice video on the quarries. If you get out there, this is a cool rock. This is looters, this is probably 18 ton. I just picked up 24 ton last week. This is actually cool. This is a student I haven't even had a chance to interview yet. This is Russ. Russ just bought this. He bought this. It's like $1 million+ building. This building's worth over $1 million. He got it for $350,000. He's putting about $80,000 in it, and he's already got it rented right now, pre-leased, $14,000 a month. Amazing return on investment. This is the kind of thing, El Capitan, that you can do, you can find. And when you get in my class, you'll be amongst people that are actually, I'm doing it all the time. These guys are also doing it. People are learning to do it, and they're repeating the success over and again. You just heard Kris say he's bought his 5th property. It's a cool thing. So actually, here's a little patio I'm working on right now. I'll show you this. Now you can see some of the stone in the background. This is that looter stone that I was explaining about. All this goes around here. This stuff, these things weigh anywhere from, 1,000 pounds, to a ton. But it's fun. It's really, really cool. So I got a nice video coming out on that, by the way. And, and this is a house I paid under $500,000 for that's worth over $1 million. And this is on the big side. For homes, for me, this is a little bit on the big side. So, I don't know. Do I still got Liam? Are you still in here? Anybody got any questions here? Let me refresh the chat here. Fire away. But main thing is, listen, go to FlipAnythingUSA.com. You take the mentorship survey, do both, mentorship survey, and sign up for the webinar, because you'll get the video webinar sent to you anyways, and you'll see some of the successes of other students. But we're going to do a webinar Thursday. We're going to go live. It's going to be a Zoom. You come in, ask away. I'll give you I mean, I'll give you, it'll be just like kind of like a class, but I'm going to show you very specifics, deals that I've done that you can do. Students can come in and share their experience. That'd be really cool. Actually, Liam just wrote, I texted you an address. I'll take a look at it, Liam. Sure. This is the cool thing, too. You know, everybody lives and breathes real estate. You know, we share, hey, man, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And so it's really cool. Barry wrote, now we know how the pyramids were constructed. Yeah, let me tell you. I was just watching something on that. That's pretty fascinating, by the way. But yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, these things are, it's incredible. I mean, you're right. These are like Legos compared to the pyramids. But even these are, you know, quite heavy. What else? I was going to show you something else in here too. Oh, there's Grant. That was for the picture. Oh. Yeah, boy, I better be careful poking around in here. This guy cutting a rock. We actually started cutting these stones ourselves here too. That's probably what that noise you heard a little while ago. Well, let me tell you, cutting stone isn't much easier. It's a pain. It's all tough stuff. But if you get a chance to watch the core videos, you know, it's pretty interesting. This is what you call a natural face stone. If you look at the edge of this stone, this is pretty interesting. It's kind of a natural edge. In other words, it's worn. Even though it's square and it's flat, it's weathered. It's not snapped. It's not cut. When you go out to a quarry, if you look at it like, you know what a puzzle looks like, right? A puzzle, it's all, you know, cut out. That first layer of rock is like that. They get down about 10 feet. They get down to that first layer. It's maybe a foot thick or so, and it's fractured. And because of those fractures, the rain and the weather that went through those cracks weathers those edges, so they have a natural face. And then they pull these pieces out like puzzle pieces, and a lot of times they're fairly square like that. And so it gives you a neat front edge, a neat natural front edge. And that's what you saw on a lot of the rocks that I just showed you a little while ago. Well, once you get a little below that, then it becomes harder rock, the same material but harder, more powered, condensed, and it becomes a solid mass, sometimes 50, 60 feet deep. And that's why you see these quarries, they just keep digging and cutting out squares over and over again. Anyhow, this stuff that I've got represents that first layer, that puzzle piece, because I wanted all natural edges, and it looks beautiful, and I'm going to have a nice video for you guys to see on that. Liam just wrote, Tyson wrote, Tom, when you use a line of credit to flip a property, do you pay it all back once you sell it? I do. I mean, look, I can tell you right now, there's no reason for me to keep cash in the bank in general. I mean, I have some, of course, but I mean, like I just picked up a check today. I should say I had somebody pick up a check today for me. And let me just show you. So like this is a check somewhere. Yeah. So look, this is a check on the house. This is what I received out of this 403, this whatever. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Yeah, it's changing on me anyways. Yeah. Anyways, it's $389,000. That is just going to go, and there's a line of credit I've got that's worth about, I don't know, $1.6 million, and I think I owe maybe three or 400,000 on that. This is going to go into my account, and then I'll just cut a check over and pay that line of credit off. That line of credit is always available to me. But as soon as I cut that check, if that pays it off, or I'll pay it off with whatever I need of that, it goes back to zero. It's no longer costing me anything. And that line of credit only cost me, I think, 3 3/4% or 4%. So I save 4% while that's, while it's paid off. But it gives me the ability to write a check for $1.6 million just from that one account, and I got several of these things. Plus I got maybe a little bit of cash of my own, but that's the power that you'll find with real estate. You can have a lot of property completely paid for, but you may have it leveraged in as much as you have the ability to write a check for $1 million or $2 or $500,000 or $200,000, relative to whatever the asset's worth. You can usually get a line of credit, for 75, 80% of the value. Harder to do right now because times are getting tough, but they'll still give you 70% if it's a good asset. And then having that power to write a check. So yeah, Tyson, what you do is you could, like if people use their home as a line of credit, that's fine too, as long as you're responsible and you know what you're doing. I just, here's the other thing. These people that, going back to, Grant Cardone and Kris Krohn, these guys encourage you to, and even in some of the emails I've gotten from them, it's like, you can pull the equity out of your home. Well, when you pull the equity out of your home, it's not like you're pulling the cash out of a drawer, right? No, you have to borrow the equity out of your home. You have to borrow the equity out of your home. And so when you go borrow the equity, in fact, I told you about the guy earlier that makes 4.75%. Well, you can't even get a 4.75% loan right now, I don't think, for a house. But let's just say you could. So you borrow 4.75%, give it to Grant Cardone to get 4.75%. Doesn't make any sense. So it's sad, because if you follow that way of thinking and you buy into that being good, and that's why I say I don't get it. It's like Pee Wee Herman circus show on Kris Krohn, and even both of them. So I really don't understand why an adult would even buy that shit, but they do. And most of them are ashamed to admit that they did after they have. But so listen, you guys that have done that or fallen down, listen, you're not alone. Listen, I'll show you how to make money for real how to make money. And you should, because listen, you can make a lot of money in a very short time. A lot of people think it's over when you're 40 or 50 or 60. It's not over. You have time, but you can take the money that you've saved. You've taken so long to save. Just take a little bit of that and invest it in. You got to know, spend a few grand with me, number one, but get that education, that couple $1,000s for getting an education, and then make your 10 grand, turn your 10 grand into 20. Kris here just bought a lot for $100,000, and he was offered $200,000 for it. He's holding out for $250,000. So think about that. He's taking 100 grand and making 100 with it. And listen, I've been doing this forever, so it's nothing new to me, and even the students in the class, they're realizing more and more and more, wow, this really is possible. After you do it once, you think, well, can I do it again? Then you do it again. And then pretty soon you have the confidence in knowing that you can repeat the success again. So El Capitan just wrote, I just canceled a HELOC. The bank was only giving me $60K against my house. My house is worth $400K. Well, really? That was a first? Was your HELOC secured by a first? Would you recommend a bank that can get me a bigger HELOC? Yeah, so listen, I don't know, when you say HELOC, I'm talking about a house, right? You're talking about your home. But I always talk in terms of RLOCs, right? That's a revolving line of credit. RLOC, revolving line of credit. Okay, so it's a revolver. That's important. You want a revolver, number one. You got to look at what they. Here's the problem: when you go get a HELOC or anything else, they're going to have you get a new title policy, and you're going to have to pay that. And that's for your home. If they maybe they do it for the whole 400. I don't know, but you have to pay for that title report. So it adds an added expense to getting the loan. So when you say you canceled it, I don't know if I would have canceled it. I would have let it ride, and then what I would do is go back to the bank. El Capitan, and maybe you can give me her name. It feels weird calling you El Capitan, but it is, maybe maybe don't close it. Maybe it's too late. I would have just kept it open if you got it, because you've already paid for the title report, the title policy. But just talk to them and say, hey, listen, we need to raise this up. The house is, I got a $400,000 asset. I need to be able to pull more money. And then if they won't do that, then shop it. Listen, I shop banks. I just left one of my banks. I have a banker. It's really, your relationship ends up being with the banker. When your banker leaves, a lot of times you'll leave with the banker, because they know you. When they go to the bank, listen, look at a loan officer is there to make money. And so when another bank hires that loan officer, they're hoping that they take their customers with them. That's part of the game. Hey, again, if you just got here, please hit subscribe. I promise I'll never mislead you. I got no reason to. I turn more people down to come into my class than I allow people in. You have to show me that you have money, or you have to convince me that you have money, because I won't. If you tell me you spend your last $2,000 to get in my class, I'm not interested. I have zero interest in taking your last $2,000 for the class. If you only have $2,000, you need to save. You need to learn to save more. But if you do have 10, 20, $100,000, $1 million, I don't care what you got in the bank, you should take the class. 100%, you should take the class. And so, hey, we got Robert here. That's awesome. Robert, he says, hi, Tom. How you doing? I've closed another deal, made $45K Damn. So this is awesome. You've got Robert, who doesn't live in the country. He lives. I'm afraid to say Portugal now. He lives in another country, I think Portugal, and I always mess it up. It's my age. Sorry, Robert. But he's killing it. He made 36 grand on one deal. He's just made 45. That's like Portugal. Thanks, Robert. Thanks for not being mad at me. He has. I mean, he is killing it. I'm just telling you. He's in an area where he's making enough. He just made 45 grand. He can go buy a nice, really, really nice place for 45 grand. And and you can do it here too. You make $500,000 here in the USA. You can go buy a place as nice as Robert's getting for 45, but he's in another country where the money goes farther. I was just talking to a Salvadoran guy. He's here for 5 years. He's got a wife and kids. It cost him $12,000 to jump the border and come here and work. And now he's got 5 years. He plans on staying here working. And he's got $40,000-$50,000 saved right now, and he says he makes $800. He was a cop. He was a cop in El Salvador, and he was making $800 a month. Okay, now he's making $800 a week, and so he can't turn down the money. So he's just banking it here, and he's not going to see his wife and kid for like 4 more years. But when he goes back, he's going to have a really big chunk of money. And I told him, I said, hey, you know what? We'll talk. I said, we'll get you into some real estate that makes sense over there. Let's see. Robert wrote 4 tears of Sally. Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, tears is also accurate. Josh wrote, yeah, listen, that many years of work sounds terrible. I'm very fortunate. I'll tell you what, I worked for somebody for 18 months, 17, till I was just like a little over, let's see. No, maybe it was even earlier than that. Yeah. Well, anyhow, I was out of school at 16, but I went to work for somebody, and when they went under, I was 19. And when I was 19, I bought my first property because I needed a building to house my business, which was a cabinet shop. Liam wrote 25% sales tax in Portugal. Is that a question, or is that something you know? I don't know. I don't know if that would apply. Robert, did they apply that sales tax against your home, or do you have any kind of different set of standards for real estate tax in Portugal as opposed to groceries? Robert wrote, no, not always the case. And by the way, Robert is a policeman, by the way. Anyways, let's see. Anybody got any other questions? Please jump in the chat. I'll go back to here, just pushing the mentorship a little bit. When you go into FlipAnythingUSA, you're going to present it with this first thing. It says need a mentor. Then after that, you can click on that, or you can go up here to what says webinar. That's where I want you to go right now. You can go to both. You can do both. You can fill out both. People do often. And here, you just fill out your name, last name, email. You can put your phone in here. It's an option. I understand people, if you don't want to, I don't care. I'm not going to bother you. I promise you that. And yeah, just put in your age. You give me those things right there, and then you'll be registered. I'll send you a video that's more intent on talking about some of the things we do, but you'll also get an invite where you can come in Thursday. You can talk to me personally, just like I'm talking to these people now. We'll talk on a chat, and I'm talking about a Zoom. And bring your toughest questions, anything you want. Listen, this is what people don't do. People don't ask. Like when you're giving me money, you should be asking me tough questions. Like, Tom, why should I give you money? What do you have that's relevant to me? And if I can't show you that I buy properties, whatever, last month, this year, last year, the year before, on and on and on. If I don't have a track record of making money on buying properties that are the kinds of properties that you want to buy and make money on, then I'm probably not the guy for you. And that's the thing. You guys don't scrutinize the people that you hand money to. I'm talking about those of you that have been parted with your money by the fake gurus. You need to ask them, show me that you can do this. Show me that you're telling me I can do it. Show me that you have done it. Show me that you've done it. Because believe me, when it comes to Kris Krohn and Grant Cardone, if you saw what they know how to do to make money, it doesn't really apply to you, in my opinion. It doesn't apply. It applies. In fact, you'll see that a lot of the people that are most like them will go collaborate with them, or maybe pay to be close to Grant, because what they want to know is, how do you get so much money from the public that's out there? I'm not interested in getting the money from the public that's out there. I'm interested in educating you so you can make your money on your own and you don't throw it into a fund. Throwing it into a fund is a huge waste of money, in my opinion. I wouldn't touch it. In fact, they should be able to show you, what Grant Cardone says, yeah, we expect up to 15%. We'll say, well, what's your basis for expecting 15%? Show me a handful. You got 3,200 investors last time I heard him talk about it. Show me a handful that have actually made 15%. If that makes you happy, I wouldn't be happy with 15%. So let's see. My Hoti, I'm not sure what that means, but hi, Tom. My girl is about to buy out of state, 33% under market, and cash flow with 25% cash on cash return. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I like to hear that. That's fantastic. Congratulations. The last building I bought, I bought 3 houses and I made about $1 million. I bought 3 houses. I bought 3 houses and I made almost $1.4 million or $1.5 million on them, over what I paid for them. But I took the profit. I sold those 3 houses. I bought on average $129,000 a piece, and I sold them for about $620,000 a piece. So I took that $1.5 million roughly, or whatever it was, the total of those, and I bought a building for $1.6 million. And now on that $1.6 million purchase, I'm getting on $400,000, because I pulled $1.2 million out of it right after I bought it. So I have basically $400,000 making $99,000 I know the property makes $99,000 a year. That's after the mortgage. Before the mortgage, when I paid cash for it, it was making $144,000 a year. Germon says Pace Morby has become besties with Grant Cardone. I don't know. Oh, you really Pace Morby? Well, I'll have to look into that. That's the thing. I think you tarnish your image as being legit when you attach yourself to Grant Cardone personally. Listen, you think he has Kevin Hart. He's got, these people that are out there, that are on his show. He had Trump even on there. I was kind of sorry to see Trump that was on there, to be honest. I like Trump. But I guess what I'm saying is, why? Why? What's there? Does Kevin Hart invest with Grant Cardone? Why is he there? He's paid to be there. My opinion. He's paid to be there. Most of the names that you see there, if there's a celebrity on there, they're paid to be there. They're compensated in some way. And now the reverse goes when you have maybe a Pace Morby, or, and I don't know this for sure, but somebody that's a name. They're paying to be with Grant, to be seen with Grant. So you know what I mean? It's just this fake guru slap on the back collaboration crap I don't like. And I'm not saying that's the case with Pace. I don't even know Pace, know much about him. I have to look into him a little bit now. But yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I think anyways, listen, don't buy the fast talk. Look for proof. Look for, somebody that can back it up. And I'll just give you a quick, we can come over here real quick. I'll just give you a real quick look at one particular area. So here we are. This will give you an example. And this is just the point I'm trying to illustrate to you guys right now is that you don't have to invest with somebody else. You don't have to go far away. The deals are so close. And I'm going to give you an idea. This is why, I want you to understand how close the deals are. So look, I bought this property here. Let me get enough in the screen. And I tell you, everything is nearby. It's much closer than you realize. People that are real opinionated sometimes have the worst goddamn advice. Anyways, so let's go here. So look, I bought this building here for $1.2 million. It's worth twice that. I bought the place next door to that for $750,000. It's worth twice that. I bought the house next door to that, not necessarily in that order. I bought the house next door to that right here. I bought that for $200,000. I sold it for $560,000. I bought this property across the street for $300,000, and I sold it for, I'm sorry, I didn't sell it, I still own it. I bought that property for $300,000, and I built a building on it that brings me a lot of money. I mean, it does really, really well. I'm not going to tell you exactly because I don't know right off the top of my head, but hundreds of thousands a year. And but look at, these are just a few assets right here, right? Now let's move over here just a little bit. I also bought this house, the one next to it, the one across the street, this corner here. I bought this house mid-block. I bought this house on the corner here. I'm missing another one. There's another one I bought in here somewhere. I can't remember exactly. Well, let's go down here because there's more. I bought this house here. I bought the one next door to it. I bought the one across the street from it. I bought the lot behind that one. And then I bought the restaurant. This is a restaurant I bought right here. Keep going down this way. This is a building I still own right here. I bought this building here. I paid $1,050,000 or something cash for it. And that was because I made, I took the money that I bought that from was something, I made it like $2.5 million on another piece of property that I held for a little while, but I made that money on that property right there. And, you know, see, this is kind of goes to my barbell. I tell you guys about barbells. And what a barbell is, you buy property, you know, in one particular area around your home, and then you continue buying that stuff up around your office or your work and that sort of thing. Of course, bear with me here. I'm getting a little bit, this is a little too tight a shot for me. So anyhow, so we go down here to where, you know, my office is. Yeah. So we'll go down here to where my office was. Now, I bought this building here, okay? This building that you see I just put a dot on. I bought, this is another big building, 3 acres. I bought that building there. And then you come down here, I bought this shopping center. I still own these things, by the way. This is a shopping center I own right here. So, you know, and I mean, I can go all over the place here. And I still own a lot more than this. But the point I'm making is that I'm in one spot. And I did this in California when I lived in California. It looked just like that. I call it a barbell. I bought all around my home, you know, in a bunch of property. And then take a line over to another area where I would frequent. And then I bought everything around that area. You know, it's the areas that you frequent the most are the easiest to stay in tune with, to know what they're worth and make the deals that you make. Anyways, so anybody got any other questions here? And I hope that you guys are enjoying this. Let me know. Please comment. It helps the channel. Also, again, if you just got here, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. If you guys could put some comments in the comment, it'll help the algorithm if you want to comment in here. I don't care what you put in there, but it would be helpful. And again, if you just got here, get the book. Don't waste any time. Get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. I mean, I think if you don't like it, I think you can send it back and get your money back. You get it from Amazon. I don't think they turn anybody down for a refund, but you're not going to send it back. What you're going to do is you're going to read that and you're going to get excited, and then you're going to say, you know what, I need to join the course. And then you're going to talk to me and we'll see if you qualify. That's what you should do. That's what I hope for you, because I know what's here. I know what's here. I know what you don't know. And I want to tell everybody thanks for coming in here. I appreciate it. Some of the new names I see here are great, and but all the regulars I really appreciate. I know you got dinner about to happen with family and that sort of thing, and on the East Coast. And if you got another question out there, somebody will take it. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave you with this, and I'll just leave you. We'll see you guys soon.
Stop and listen. Time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip